In the tranquility of the night, some stories quietly come to life. Welcome to Hauntings and Horrors. Now, I will take you through a chilling tales. I'm a member of the Green Berets, the United States' most prestigious warriors they've ever bred. This journey that I'm about to tell you all started during the virus outbreak. Now, if you've ever heard of David Pollard's and Missing for Rwanda, then you get an idea of what we'll be discussing shortly. It began with a briefing from our superiors on our mission. There had been a surge in missing person cases in this particular national park before the virus hit. I won't say what part, but just know it was somewhere with them. Watch mountain terrain. This story will be told from my viewpoint and my partner, Sarah. All right. Everybody sit down on the sit-up PBA. Our sergeant said we have been asked for our assistance in surveying this park by the National Park and the White House. To keep it simple, we are tasked with discovering and eliminating whatever it is that is taking people from this park. The base has been set up and we have been asked to back up the FBI and their squads. We were told that 2 of their squads were killed overnight and military involvement has been requested by the president. This mission is top secret and, as you know, nobody is to know of this. We have been generously given everything we need to complete the mission. The national park and the surrounding area has been closed off to the public. But this shouldn't be an issue due to the stay-at-home order set in place. This goes for all national parks. Your boots, one of many special forces tasks. To eliminate this threat that has been deemed a national security concern by the White House. We have been given radar and will have air support on standby as well as a Blackbird in the air to keep an eye on your mission. You will be given 50 calls armored, a 4x4 Humvees, mass alive communication, thermal and night vision, and the best weaponry the United States military has to offer. Luckily, and we were given intel from the indigenous tribe that's borders to the park, your bullets have been dipped in ash and whatever poor beings that we may encounter will experience the full force that's in the United States military has to offer. That being said, you have 24 hours to get ready for your mission. Any questions? The day, Wanda, as morning dawned. I made a cup of coffee and I got on it and proceeded to the meeting point on the base. We began our trip in our armored up for Humvees and proceeded to the HQ base deep in the woods, which took the whole day. We took the forest road as dusk was approaching night. All right, man. Keep a lookout. Primarily the tree line. As we drove, all was normal when suddenly we saw a pair of the otherwise beginning to follow along with our platoon. Don't worry. It's only a skeleton. But stay frosty. Don't worry. Yeah. They won't attack us and mess. The eyes are right. Isn't it cool? The sign. That was nice. I guess we'd approach the gate stage. 2 as we entered at the range of YH at that. The fox lights emitted it. Once inside the base we got out and proceeded inside. Now I'd been on military bases before but this was pretty new. The base was filled with these fog lights and barbed wire fence in it to keep anything outside the base out, and not to mention the towers with thermal heat set in 50,000, as well as multiple MPs starting the inside. The security for this base was something that I would expect in the Middle East, not in the middle of the woods in the United States. Once inside the building we were ordered to get our gear ready for an escorted patrol into the woods to investigate a cabin that a squad of FBI agents had searched. We were called in for backup. Once we had approached the cabin, we pulled security outside of the cabin and Sarah and I draw our rifles and our squad mates David broke the door down. We swapped the cabin and saw one FBI agent cowering in the corner while this long, tall, skinny creature was feasted on the other, now deceased FBI agent. The next thing I know, Nicole blew the thing's head off with his shotgun. After we swept each room and deemed the cabin clear, we brought the surviving agent back to base. We questioned the agent. He said it. We proceeded to add to the cabinet when we heard the movement in one of the rooms, and as we approached it, the door swung open and that creature killed my whole squad. I thought I was a goner when it approached me and it spoke. Know that you watch as I feast until you are the last son of Yahweh. Your fear will make you a delicious meal. He kept smiling as it spoke and I just broke down. And that's when you guys came in. My sergeant asked him and the missing boy. I'm afraid we were too late. He was already dead when we arrived day 2. Another mission we were sent on was to investigate a summit where a ranger reported that on an overnight hike, his tent was approached by multiple faceless Medina, and they screamed such horrid noises. He was paralyzed with fear and had to be airlifted the following morning. Apparently the rangers had a rise of a missing person cases around the Chimento, so we set up a fake camp and used these same rangers as bait. He was scary but felt better with the fact that he had backup from us. We set up snipers and the rest of my squad surrounded the tent. My goodness answer, activating night vision around to Wanayama. We finally saw movement. About 5 of those faceless men approached the tent. It began to yell those noises, and then we fired snipers first and then the rest of the squad moved in. Those things tried to run off but were met with the full force of my platoon. Safe to say, none of them got out of there alive. Stay put outside. The agency is approaching to recover bodies. Now, my platoon was basically there to eliminate the threat. But as far as this outside agency, we had no clue of who they were nor a branch of government they belonged to. All I know is that they picked up the bodies and men in black spoke with my sergeant, as was the commander back at HQ. And then I left. Who the heck were those guys that I said to Nicola? No idea. But it's best that we don't ask any questions. I'll say this, as our missions became more disturbing. I found it very hard to just do my job without her knowing me for details. But nonetheless, I'm a soldier and I have a job to do, which I intend to do my next mission now. This was one of the worst missions I was a part of. We drove our Humvees to investigate reports of a mutilated deer surrounder lake. It was popular during the park's normal hours, when now the park was open to the public. Once we arrived, the weather began to get the worst, and then we noticed the red color. The lake began to give off, and then these strange clouds arrived. A crimson red just hovering over the lake. For some reason, Michael began to become hysterical and losing his mind. And then he shot his 50 cal at the cloud, screaming, "No, no, you all take me." And then, right after he shot, he was just pulled into the cloud. And then the weather got so bad that we couldn't even see you. As soon as it had started, it stopped with David civilly gone. We did not know what to do. So we reported what happened in HQ. Reported back. Leave the area now, understood my sergeant Saida. We then returned with a full force for their support. We found David's body in pieces just floating in the lake. Also, those same unnamed agents came to pick up his body parts from a lake, and Agata was speaking to my chain of command. A hefty loss of my close brother and RN said I couldn't take it anymore. When the agent was speaking to my commander, I walked into demand. Answer is, I knew that I would be in trouble. But I interrupted the meeting, and after arguing as I commanded to know what was going on, the leader of us said agency broke the arguing. It's fine, Commander. This one here is one of your top soldiers, so we can let him know. Milana, I could only say so much. But what I can tell you is this: you are basically the first wave of forces to investigate these strange occurrences in the park, and then, when the situation is deemed to degrade, that's where we come in. Okay? So if we can't fight off some evil weather out today, how the heck can you guys stop it? Oh, we are aware of this. Normally your weapons are perfect to deal with cryptids, but this is beyond those insignificant creatures. We have weapons. Not exactly destroy well those sentient weather beings who are controlled by what we believe are extraterrestrial. The natives speak of these events and gods who control the weather, and their way of halting it was of blood sacrifices. But when I say extraterrestrial, I'm not talking about a little green man. No, these are extra dimensions of beings. They can come into this reality in and out as they please. Our mission is to stop this, with the military's help, of course. Together we hope to curb this. So what do these ETS want? We don't know exactly it. We have captured some men at various times. They couldn't be contained until we had a group of physicists create a room that does not allow those beings to escape. These EEs tell us one thing, but we believe if they aren't one honest, they see in us the same way we see animals in a zoo. One way that we reduced these incidents was to allow them to abduct people. Wait. So you're fine with innocent people being abducted. But why on earth would you be okay with this? My commander interrupted it. That's enough. Soldier. The agent put his hand in the stop motion. It's fine. Commander. Look here. As far as we know, this is the best outcome until we can figure out a way to stop them. As of now, they are uncontrollable. We will close the parks until it is deemed as somewhat safe for the public. But don't be surprised to hear of missing persons cases now. I assumed I don't have to worry about you speaking of this. Right. It's not like anybody would believe me here. Don't worry about me. I simply wanted to know the entirety of my mission. Well, that's something I expected from a decorated soldier such as yourself. Now, Commander, please escort your soldier. I'll attend. I believe he deserves some relaxation. After this heal that he's experienced before leaving, that I managed to find a folder in a safe that contained more information than what was given to me. Apparently, we found something indicated from a mission, Nicole, that was on before at this recent one. That mission was in Yosemite National Park. After confronting Sarah about this, he told me that we should talk in a more private setting and told me to leave my phone and anything trackable. We drove to a parking lot by a local bar a few miles from Maze. This base was the one we had arrived in, not the one in the forest. For Clary's sake. So this is what happened. Nicole said, I and my fellow squad were sent to investigate tech. Even we got into a huge firefight and 3/4 of my squad were killed trying to capture one of these interdimension beings. Apparently, when they're in the physical form, there is a slight window of opportunity where you can damage them. We managed to knock it out and locked it in a room that apparently the idiot could not escape. Don't ask me how it works. I'm not a physicist. The thought was thanks to a Russian physicist that designed the room. It basically said that the cave was one of many that connect together to the mother cave. It refers to itself as a fallen angel and that be rested. Its kind will escape when the earth cracks. Releasing Emma. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like the book of Revelations to media. It even said that the time will come in the same year that a great plague would the world then. Just as this had predicted, our military confirmed a large heat signatures underground. The plan was to detonate a nuke. However, the problem was it was directly under Yellowstone National Park. Now these beings apparently lie. And this was indeed a lie because we must tuck the heat signatures. They were indeed indicating that magma activity. Individual heat signatures were found in Alaska. One of our studying squads confirmed this one. That they found the mother cave and sent out to NARC out with a camera. And to our horror, we saw more of these creatures that would make a Wendigo look like a puppy. The midlet eggplants on sending a large force to make some noise. But even Anna, I don't know how the S alone will fare up against these things. So now here I am writing this out. People need to realize what is going on in these parks. The government and military have no control over these events. It's best that you stay away from the forest. Oh my ends. I was granted leave for a few weeks, and when I returned, I was tasked with leading a squad for a next mission. I'm currently waiting for a flight to Alaska. Apparently the Russians experienced these same phenomena in Siberia and followed the cave system all the way to Alaska. The United States and Russia are teaming up after finding something that will shake our beliefs even further. Until then, it's best that you stay home. For the virus. Is it the only thing to keep you out of the woods? The stories have been told, but their shadows will continue to haunt our minds. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Hauntings and Horrors. Turn on notifications, so you won't miss any thrilling horror stories. Good night, and sweet dreams.